Good afternoon, CJ.
Hey, good afternoon, JB. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How you going, bro?
Yeah, I'm going really good. I'm going, pretty good. Um, feeling okay.
What's going
Health-wise,
on?
anyway. Yep.
Yeah, health-wise is good.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah. This week and was it this week? Yeah, this week I've had a bit of time off, but just getting things sorted, I suppose. With a possible move, we're going to move from this place where we are now to somewhere else, but we don't know where that somewhere else is at the moment. We've got a couple of options, so we'll wait and see.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So is it, as you said, a couple of options, which is always good to have a couple of choices, mate. You don't want to be
Yeah.
left with none, do you? So
Well, we've got one. We hopefully got one that's going to take us back up to Cairns. If not, we've got a plan B.
Plan B is always good. Plan C is pretty good too when you
That's right.
when you're mucking around like that, mate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's well, what happens is what happens, and that's where we need to be. You know what I mean?
Certainly does, mate. I couldn't agree more. So yes,
Yeah.
I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you there.
That's right. We're fortunate enough to be able to move with the flow, if you like. You know what I mean? A lot of people, their flow's at home. That's where they want to be. That's great. But for us, we're kind of empty nesters. So if we have to be somewhere, we'll be there, and that's that's just part of what happens, I guess, later in life.
Yeah,
so,
no, definitely, but it's exciting as well. So I mean,
it is exciting.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, JB, is taking us so long to do it, and we should have done.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, we should be doing this.
Different phases, different stages of life, brother. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So
and
at least with COVID over and all those sort of things, but it brought in a few different changes where you're able to do a lot more online as well. So it's actually been good for that, I think. So, and here's me saying that, mate. I've never had COVID, so one of those lucky ones. But I think there has been some positives that have come out of it, brother. So.
Yeah, true that, mate. True that. It's I only got it the last year. Well, 23, I got it. So when we're still in Darwin. But mate, I just want to start by acknowledging traditional owners here in this country around the Mackay area, the Yui Burra people, the Yui people. I want to also shout out to their elders, past, present, and emerging. I've been fortunate enough to get involved with men's group here, a lot of the elders in that group, which is fantastic. Always good to catch up with them blokes anyway. So, and also some of the women in the women's elders groups as well. But big shout out to home, especially Yidinji people up in Cairns, as well as the Budigal people up in the Torres Strait from Motorola. And look, a big thank you to everyone, I suppose, for being here, for us being able to do this. So
yeah, definitely, brother. Yeah, no, and well said too, brother. And I too want to just acknowledge all the different countries that everyone are on, and for people that are watching as well. We're back on Gidable country, so we pay our respects and to all of our elders, past, present, and any up and coming, and just thank our old people, our ancestors, and everyone else for getting us where we are today. And we can live the sort of lives that we do live. Good to be back at home now, brother. And I can honestly say that the weather's been absolutely fantastic. So it was about 30 today. So really looking. I think we missed the worst part of winter, brother. So
that's good, mate.
Yeah. So I just want to acknowledge my mob too, Muddy people, and just thank all my old people, my ancestors, for getting us where we are today, brother. And just say, life is good, brother. So
life's good, mate. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it is. I like it too when it starts warming up. That's it's nice.
Bloody oath, brother. Bloody oath. Yeah, we had a neighbour across the road, and she come over the other day, and she said she's been here for 11 years, and this was the worst winter ever. So, and she doesn't know if she can stand another one. So, pretty glad that we weren't here, brother. So,
yeah, no, well, you went northwest, I guess.
yes,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it doesn't get that cold up there. So in Broome area, but I see Francis White just saying good evening, gents. So
good evening, Auntie Fran. How are you?
Yep. And JB, we're on JB and CJ checking in.
We are, brother. We are.
Yeah,
I just checked that before, and I'm pretty happy with that. So,
very good.
as I said, it's taken a lot of mucking around to get on there. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, very happy about that. Now we have got a special guest coming on, and he did assure me that he was coming on 3:30 his time over in the west. But I just texted him now, brother. So we'll just wait and see what Uncle Devin's doing.
Yeah,
so,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're heading over there anyway soon, aren't you? Going back over to Broome?
Yeah, probably most likely, brother. Probably most likely. Oh shit. There's Christine Butler saying 38 here already. Time for a sea change, methinks. Yeah, you might be right there too, Christine.
We head back to Townsville for Christine. Holy yeah.
It'd be just as hot as Townsville anyway.
Oh yeah, I reckon maybe go north to Darwin.
Probably hotter.
Darwin. Well, at least you get a bit of a breeze up there, a little bit of a sea breeze. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let us know what you're doing, Christine. That'll be great. Yeah. But yeah. So you're going up to Broome when? Did you say? Sorry.
Well, it's probably going to be the end of the year, brother. To be honest, for a little while, and do some work over there. And then come back and make a decision about where we're gonna live as well. So yeah. So it's exciting. I mean, it's it is what it is. Like you pack up the house and you go, brother. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, we did a bit of spring cleaning there over the weekend. So yeah, we're getting down to nothing really. You know what I mean? So it's that's good.
And look, I think the time in the in our caravan and all that sort of stuff, it really teaches that less is more. You know what I mean? So you can't take everything, and seriously, we probably wear the same clothes every day. We have our training gear that we use in the mornings, and then we get our work gear on, or a couple of t-shirts, some shorts and that sort of stuff. And you don't really need too much, I don't think so.
No, you don't, mate. No, you don't. You don't need a great deal. I mean, well, depending on where you are, I suppose, and what the weather's like, the temperature's like, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you don't need a great deal of stuff, mate. But depending on where you are in life as well, JB, we talked a little bit about that. We're in a position at the moment that we can do that sort of stuff, whereas younger people who's trying to build their foundation, if you like, need to be more stationary, I suppose. It's and we've done that bit, haven't we?
Yeah, look, I mean, look, there's people say, oh, you're lucky, and all this sort of stuff, but none of it's been given to any of us. It's what we do, and we work hard for it, and and that's and it's just now our time to. We're still working hard, so but it's just in different circumstances, So
that's
able to get around, and like Lisa and I always say, we reckon we're unemployable now. So no one who employs, so we work for ourselves. You know what I mean? So
well, yeah, no, that's right, and well, I'm not looking for a job anyway at the moment, so. I think I'll just keep doing stuff for myself, and subcontract, whatever you want to call it, or I'll have a look at some, starting up a couple of new projects and go with that. You know what I mean? So it's all about being a bit more creative and innovative about what we do.
Definitely.
There's a need out there for some of the stuff we do, isn't there, JB? I mean, there's a big need. I see Cassandra Gilbert said hello. So hello, Cassandra.
Hello, Cassandra. Cassandra's our good friend over in Broome, who does an amazing job with Community Adult Corrections. So
Oh,
well
right.
done, Cassandra, and welcome. Well,
Mhm.
you'll have to come on for a yarn one day, Cassandra.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. So, Christine, North Queensland, Hinchinbrook's looking good. Sounds like
Go
it.
for it,
Yeah,
Christine, is what I say. Go for it.
go for it. Yeah, Cardwell by the sea, eh?
Oh, nice, eh? Nice.
It's nice there. Yeah, it's a nice spot. It's only well, it's a couple of hours one way and a couple of hours. Is it? No, it's not.
100%. Halfway, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon it's halfway between Cairns and
Yep.
Townsville. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
it's about an hour and a half. Well, I don't know. It's how many hours? It's usually it's probably a couple of hours because it's 4 hours from Cairns to
I reckon
Townsville.
it's just about spot on, brother.
Yeah. So 2 hours one way, 2 hours the other way. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but you can be away from both of those towns. It's further away you can be. So, and it's lovely there. You can just walk out onto the beach or on the jetty and go and chuck a line in for a fish or get in a little boat and head out there for the day. So
Yeah. Just watch those crocs, though, brother.
Oh yeah, there's peacocks around that area too. Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Yeah.
Ah.
Mate, I am disappointed like you are. Carlton going down by what many points? It was last minute goal. My grandmother's homeland country. Oh, there you go. Manjin country. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, back on country, Christine. But going down to St Kilda in the last minute of the game was just
brother. They hit the lead with 1 minute 15 to go. For the first time in the game, I reckon it was, and then with 12 seconds to go, St Kilda kicked the goal.
Yeah, that's it. Wasn't far enough. They could have been further if that goal in front was kicked, mate.
Young Kempy kicked the goal.
He kicked there. He would have kicked that, mate. It would have been good, but no good. But anyway, and then the other side of the fence over the NRL, my Seagulls got done pretty well by the West Tigers. So
I wasn't going to mention that, brother, because I didn't think that was even newsworthy.
No, it's not really.
Nothing against the West Tigers.
Well, I like the West Tigers, but yeah.
But we leave it there, brother.
We'll leave it there. Yeah, I know. It's one of those things. I suppose they like the Blues. We're in the finals. No matter what, there's still 2 rounds to go, but there's no way we can. Yeah.
Well, see, Port Adelaide did the Blue Boys a favour by beating Fremantle, because if Fremantle had won, they would have been in.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were talking about that too. Yeah. So it's all about the equation: who wins, who loses. Devastating results in the NT elections on Saturday. It certainly was, Christine. My goodness. Yes, Labor didn't do too well up there. My God. So I don't know whether that's sign of things to come.
Well, I mean, you'd have to. Yeah, you sort of have to think about that, don't you? And think, where are we going with our politics and that sort of stuff? Not that politics is my forte in any way, shape, or form. So I was trying and steer clear of them, brother. So politics.
I think it doesn't change the days of our lives, mate, does it? It changes the day-to-day stuff that we have to get through. So we're to keep on battling on.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the way it is, and that's what we do. And after the 14th of October last year, nothing much changes really. It's there's a lot to change, but in work wise, not a lot changed. I don't think so.
No, that's right, mate. Yeah, we just continue to chip away at it, I suppose. Work on the coal face, I suppose, face to face with people. In communities, that's us, and I think that's we don't play in that other league up the top there because it doesn't make much difference to what we do.
No,
that's right. Yeah, we're kind of like the engine room, I suppose. We're the ones that make things happen, I guess. So well, we've got an election coming up as well, haven't we, in Queensland in October? State election. So I don't know.
And when's the federal one next year?
Next year, yeah. So the Queensland one here, then next year, I think we're in about March or something. I think the federal one. So be interesting to see what happens, I suppose. But like we say, it's I, inspiration is what we want. You know what I mean? And I'm not very inspired. I'm actually having a good time watching the United States of America, the election going on over there. Hearing Trumpy on one end and Kamala Harris, I suppose, on the other. Two different sides of the coin. Yeah, it's really interesting and quite enjoying some of the strategies and that each candidate is employing, I suppose. And so funny sometimes, like when the commentators get hold of it and make some fun of it.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what happens, eh? So they muck around, they talk the most unbelievable stuff that I've ever heard. So
that's Trumpy. But Christine just put up the first thing the new CM did this morning was lowered age of criminal responsibility to 10 years old. What the heck?
Wow.
What the heck? That's not
right.
That's
not right, brother. So
what is going on?
We'll have to get Christina back on to have a yarn about that. So
my God.
We are waiting for Uncle Devon to come. Come on. I can't get hold of him now. He did promise me earlier in the day that he was up for it, and I was really looking forward to having hear what Uncle Devon had to say. So
I bet
there's a lot of good work.
Yeah, a bit to say about that decision by the chief
definitely.
Yeah, God, it's one step back. Actually, one step forward, 10 steps back. I think, Christine. Shit.
Wow. I mean, who are we kidding? Like seriously, brother. I mean, there's a fair bit of work being done in that space. With the younger kids, and like I know there's a fair bit being done in New South Wales at the moment. And again, I mean, the answer from government was we'll just build another detention centre. We definitely we have to look past this, and we can't just be building more detention centres. I mean, you've got to look beyond that, dig a little bit deeper to see why these kids are behaving the way they are, and it's not just our Aboriginal kids. It's our, it's all walks of life. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's a generational thing. I think it's got something to do with. I don't know. It's just. Maybe, I don't know, mate. It's just, it's a generation of young people now that have come out of a whole lot of different circumstances than when we were born. You know what I mean? We kind of had that nuclear family around us and extended family and community looking after us. It's not happening anymore, I don't think. There's single parents out there. There's unemployment. There's, education's not that good. Turn it into crime and violence, alcohol and drugs, all that kind of stuff are the kind of they're the things that they take the wrong turn at, when they get to the crossroads, I guess, the Y section. So it's a lot of it's happening because of it's not necessarily this mob here now, but it's that generation before that or whatever,
And look, it's seriously, it sometimes blows your mind to some of the decisions being made. I mean, I know, again, we're doing some work in Wilcannia with, good brother boy, BB Adams there. And, and he's pulling out his hair at the moment, him and, all the people that are working in community, because they just shut down the youth space. They come in and just shut it down. The Wings Drop-In Centre that's been going, 25 years, and it's such a such a safe space for those young ones in Morcania, and for that to just be ripped out from underneath them is just horrible. Like yeah, as we know, their communities down to 300, and we all know communities like this, but they got six funerals in the next couple of weeks. Out of that 300. So, and included in that is 2 deaths in custody. So, it's not the answer. Like building these detention centres and all this sort of stuff, brother. So
Yeah, no, it's not. Christine also said they shut down the AOD rehab and to build a new prison. So,
there you go. Exactly what we're saying.
That's kind of, yeah. I don't know where this is all going on, mate, but I don't know whether if they went into, I mean, that's in Darwin. Darwin's the capital city of Northern Territory, of a territory. If they did that in Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne or Canberra, how would that go? You know what I mean? So if they lowered the age to 10 in a lot of these other states and territories, and
it'd be I know it'd be just interesting listening to what their thoughts are about like a 10-year-old mind, to be honest. I mean, you know what I mean? Like most people, yes, I understand, there's most people understand right from wrong and all these sort of stuff, but to lower that age to 10, I mean, that's just fraught with danger, like for everyone, not just for those young people, but because what we see is that our prisons and our detention centers aren't for rehab. They're about punishment. So, how do we work with that? You know what I mean? So
what's a 10-year-old? Is that just finishing primary school, going into high school? Yep. That's right. They should be at home with their parents, you know what I mean? Or with their parent, one or the other, I just think that.
Well, probably not even going into high school, brother. It's probably, year 5 or whatever. Yeah.
Year 5, 6, yeah. So, it's, I don't know, mate. I don't know what the answer is there. I'm not sure that doesn't sound right, what that's happening up there. It's if they're seeing, 10-year-olds offending, we should be talking about why they're offending, why they're even out in the street or.
You have to dig that little bit deeper to find out what's going through their heads, like, is there issues at home? Is there things like that we don't know. So we need to dig that little bit deeper to find out what is going through these kids' heads, and it's the same for everyone. I mean,
same for everyone, mate. Everywhere around Australia, really, and I remember when I was growing up, outside of school, you could go and play sport, of course, but there's always had the opportunity to go and join the Scouts or the Brownies or whatever it is, and which was an option for everybody. We didn't go down that path. I played a lot of sports, so
Well, and I was just going to ask you, did you actually join the Scouts, or there's another one too, wasn't there? Scouts and
the Scouts, the Brownies. What else was it? I'm trying to think what the other group is.
But I think you're right with what you said. I mean, like we and others had, sport around that. We played a lot of sport, and and you sort of, you still get in trouble. I mean, we all got into trouble to some degree, and you know what I mean. But because there's some role models there, there's some mentors there. I think that's a big key to be able to help some of these younger ones, and it's not going to just come easy. We're going to have to work at this and work hard, but we're going to all have to work together to help. You know what I mean? So
definitely. Yeah, I just see Jeff Senton, who's on JB, and he said they're building one at Woodford in Queensland at the moment. So new correction centre. I don't know whether it's a juvenile correction centre or not, but yeah, there's another one getting built. I thought there was one up there already up at Woodford.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah, I thought there was. Yeah, so one being built at Woodford. He was saying, so whether that's a new one or it's an extension of one, but no.
And Jeff, you'll have to come on for a yarn one day. We'd love to have you on for a yarn.
Yeah. Christine says up in the Territory, there's lots of young ones in foster care with immigrant families. They don't have parents. Foster care is a big dollar reward, so she reckons that it's people are doing it for the money, not for the kid. You know what I mean? They're not providing the right care for them. So it means, yeah, I don't know what the criteria they need to meet, or whether they're being,
it's interesting, isn't it? Again,
yeah.
it's interesting, brother. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know much about the foster care space. Yeah, so you don't know who's doing it for the right reasons, who's doing it for the wrong reasons. But look, I trust in what Christine's saying as well. With what she's saying. So I mean, she's in a far better space than what I am to comment on that. So
comment on that, yeah. I see Cassandra Gilbert. She said it takes a village to raise a child. What happens when the village is dysfunctional? Also, sometimes prison detention is a safe place, not at all good. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I suppose, yeah, I agree totally, Cassandra. I mean, but the thing is that and it is a safe space. I mean, we see it time and time again with a lot of our fellas and girls. Like because they got that structure inside. There's 3 square meals a day. They've got a bed, a roof over their heads, and they come out and there's no post vention, if you like. So there's nothing for people when they get out. There's nothing to try and help them get back into community and live a normal community life. So a lot of people will just commit some sort of crime to get back in. And it's that whole revolving door process, and we see it all the time.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not safe to be at home for those kids. That's why they're out in the street carrying on. So, yeah, there are some issues there, mate. Yeah, I used to see it a lot when I was living down that way. But Jeffrey says there's no adult jail. Sure, no worries. New centre being built about 3 years away. So they started building a new centre. Yeah. But yeah, you're right there, mate. It's it's sometimes and I guess that's what Christine was talking about. Especially the foster parents.
Definitely.
Not being that supportive of a young person, I guess, and they need to screen them a little bit better, I suppose, if they're going to be looking after Aboriginal kids in particular. Yeah.
Well, and I think too. I mean, it's so hard for everyone to watch this as well. Watch the young ones go through this. As I said before, we're all in trouble at some stage. For something silly or something bigger than silly or whatever. But if you've got the right mentors, you've got the right role models around that, and I'm not saying sports for everyone, but for us, it was around sport, and we were able to have those role models and those mentors there, brother. So it does help a lot. So.
Yeah. I know Giles probably. I don't know whether it's the right place to put him, but my son went to boarding school, and obviously going to boarding school is quite an expensive exercise, especially when the kids are going to school with other kids that are not boarders. So I'm wondering whether, something like a correction centre can be turned into some sort of educational sort of facility, you know what I mean? So they're not only being punished, but they're learning at the same time. They're keeping up with the rest of the kids outside of jail who are going through school and whatever. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be well for me anyway. I don't know, brother. I don't really know about correction centres, whether there's that rehabilitation type process in there. Getting them to start learning the trades and start to learn about life, I suppose, and also life skills, all that kind of stuff. Whether that happens in there or is it really just discipline and punishment, I suppose. I don't know much about what happens within a correction centre.
That's why it'd be good to get Cassandra on to have you on. Cassandra Gilbert.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
to have her on.
Pretty good. Yeah. So Christine said need a royal commission into this space. So yeah, by the sounds of things, that might be something that's needed up there in Darwin, I guess. So.
Well, I thought they were going to do that a few years ago when all the trouble at Dondale happened, brother. I mean, I thought they were going to have their royal commission and all that sort of stuff. And what happened to that?
Don't know, mate. Yeah, Cassandra said containment. That's what correction centres are for young people, is a containment. Jeff Sen said, I think you could run a lot of different training courses within the centre. Christine Butler says more dollars for cognitive assessments and FASD. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean it's I really feel really get concerned when I hear this talk about young people going in there, and what's going to happen, as you mentioned earlier, is like a revolving door. So their whole life's going to be going in and out, back inside all the time, and not getting any, not getting those skills to be able to transition back into, life.
I mean, I'll tell you from some of the work that we've done, and this was a few years ago, down in New South Wales in a little place called Mount Druitt down there.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing some work with the men's shed down there. So, and so we were talking to, the dads, the granddads, the younger kids, and we had a group of dads and their kids there, and all talking about, like different things about, what I want to be when I grow up. And this one lad, he was probably 10 years old, brother. He said, I want to be like my dad when I grow up. I said, oh, fantastic. And what's your dad do? He's top dog in jail. So, you got the 10-year-olds at that stage. I mean, he probably doesn't even know what top dog means, you know what I mean? Or, like those sort of things. Yeah, exactly. So, so, I mean, I think they're the sort of things. And I know there's so many people that do so much good work with those younger ones, like Christine, like Cassandra, they're all doing magnificent work and trying to do the right thing by everyone. But I think government has to get on board with this as well. And the answer isn't just about building more detention centres and, these sort of things and shutting down, youth spaces and all this sort of stuff. I mean, I don't know the full story about the Wings drop-in centre at Wilcannia, so I mean, I'm not going to say too much, but you would think that would be one of the most important things to keep open for those young ones to be able to try and help. And we know how much it has helped. And when you see brothers like Brendan Adams in tears, sobbing, and he won't mind me saying that. It's really distressful. It's really stressing to see that, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it is. It's very, very sad to see that. Indeed, mate. Yeah. Burradar, Jan's on. Hey, Jan, how are you from Wales?
Hello, Jan.
Yep. And Christine
we
said,
keep missing each other. Jan, she get on, and we weren't there, but hopefully we've fixed it now, brother. So we've both been working hard at that. So
yeah, we'll be a bit more consistent. I think we've had a bit of IT problems. Not so much IT problems, but platform problems, I suppose. Well, IT problems.
It's probably more. Well, I'm going to say it. Meta and Facebook want you to pay to go live these days, so they want to verify everything, and even though that we're admin on our own group, they still won't acknowledge it that it's ours. So that's what happens. So.
Oh, is that what happened, mate? Yeah, yeah. No, look, Christine said society's breaking down. Time to head bush. Pretty dismal in NT. So yeah, I know she won't give up. Christine, she's
No, definitely.
yeah.
And again, I mean, I know Cassandra won't give up either. I mean, I think the work that they both do. I mean, it's just amazing, and there's probably a whole other people on here at the moment that do the same. And none of us will give up, brother, because we don't want to see those the next generation, as we call them, go to shit. You know what I mean? So we need to be all in this together.
All in it together, mate. Yeah, and look, there's been some really. It's interesting because some of the things like that World Kenya, things that are working, that youth centre, up in the Darwin as well with what's his name? I keep forgetting his name up there.
David Cole, brother. David
Cole had a great program running. Models like even the Glen down in New South Wales, where you've got people who are trying to get off addiction and stuff like that. That all works. You know what I mean? We know that works, and yet the support is in there for I don't know why. There should be more of those things happening, not less. There shouldn't be. I don't know.
Look, you're spot on, brother. And I know, like from working with Dave and working with Brendan, and you're the same, brother. I mean, our programs, we know our programs at Mibbenbar work as well, but you often get the funding pulled. So we try and do it on our own now, which is pretty heartbreaking at times to see so many of our people struggling.
Yeah. I'm going to make mention of Timmy Duggan's Hoops for Health up there too, doing a great job. Not getting any support from anywhere. He's doing it on his own and with his crew. So, there's a lot of programs like that in Australia around the place. And I don't know. Maybe are they pulling or closing down PCYCs? I'm not sure. You know what I mean? So, and do our kids go to a PCYC?
I think what we've got to ask the question is, look, there's a lot of dollars out there, and there's a lot of dollars coming into supposedly going into community. Are those dollars going to where they're meant to go? I don't think so a lot of the time. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, it's gonna. Yeah, I don't know whether it's gonna get any better, mate. That's the problem. When we start locking up 10-year-olds, their life is going to be in and out of the, unless they're doing some instead of what do you call it, attainment, unless they're doing some education, get their HSC or whatever they need to get all done while they're in there, because it's not good. Marilyn Jones is on. Hey, Marilyn, how you going?
Hello, Marilyn. How are you?
A lot of talking from politicians, but little happens to change things for the young ones. Sadly, money is chucked at them, but nothing concrete seems to change anything. So, yes, there are a few of the PCYCs around. So, yeah, there's PCYCs that are closing down as well.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know where's the focus of government then? I don't know.
Oh, who knows, brother? Who knows? I mean, like, again, and only my experience, but working with those mobs in Dulmiji and Mornington Island, the PCYC were doing a fantastic job. So
yeah.
I mean, you have to wonder. So
you have to wonder, mate. Yeah, I don't know where their focus is. I would imagine, knowing that state and territory governments are, gearing up for elections like the one that just happened up in NT, but also federal government. So, soon as that happens, soon as they call the election, that's it. It's in caretaker mode. Nothing gets done. No decisions get made.
And what a disgrace that is, brother. I mean, seriously, shut down, go into caretaker mode, and there's no assistance given to anyone. And they all talk shit, to be honest, and want to beat their own drums and talk about what they're going to do when they get in. Do it now before you get out, so that why go into friggin' caretaker mode at all, and keep working with us to be able to get things done. So
absolutely, mate. Yeah, that's something that happens anyway. Like even I just think that the focus for them at the moment is not about community. It's all about getting votes, which is comes from the community. Just I think it's a bit backward. Francis says it's getting harder to do in the prisons as well. We don't have Indigenous workers. They are now called CLO, Cultural Liaison Officers, that have no knowledge of individual culture, so no understanding leaving this at the moment. So, and some of the organisations that win contracts within those institutions are kind of questionable as well. I think
Well, and I think that fits with what Christine was saying before about like even maybe some of the foster parents. They haven't got that knowledge of individual cultures. When it comes to the push and shove, and so people are probably trying to do their best, but if they haven't got that understanding about what culture is, and whatever culture that may be, it's pretty damning, I think. So
yeah, it is pretty damning. Yeah, Jeff just posted something up. He said government has lost focus on a number of things. Our mob miss out. Veterans get screwed. Our kids get screwed. School is not a lot of our people need a different education model. How do we get those kids to school? How do we get them back into education? Yeah, they're all questions, I suppose, that I'm sure there are community solutions, like the youth service at down there at so it's kind of Kenya. It's kind of like there is an option there, but the options aren't being supported. I think a lot of long-standing organisations, youth organisations, are struggling at the moment, and if not, they're being disbanded. You know what I mean? So. Don't know where their focus is, Jeff. Yeah, it's I think it's like I mentioned earlier. It's coming up to elections, so let's start putting together our campaign and a report card on in terms of especially for the the existing government to let us know how good they went, and the next government to tell us how good they're going to go.
And I think they're as bad as each other, to be honest, bro. So I mean,
yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith or hope in politicians, and they may go into and then look, and there's probably, as I said, it's not a strong area of my knowledge, brother. Politics, but and they may go into it for the right reasons, but I think a lot of them then just try and climb, that ladder and get lost in their ways, and it just doesn't end well for communities.
No, it doesn't end well for communities, and if there was a voice to Parliament, maybe they might have come up with some solutions. That's been canned, so I guess the Australian community needs to just put up with this, I suppose. So, but it's not good. It's look at youth crime, for instance. It's going out of hand. It's just going crazy all over the country, break-ins. What's been happening out there at bloody Goondiwindi? It's ridiculous. They just come in and they go over the border and right over the border and all that kind of stuff. So it is getting out of hand.
Yeah, no, and you're spot on. And there are kids in groups as young as 9, 10, 11 running around doing these sort of things. But we did hear a story from New South Wales. I won't say what town, but they're trying to do some work in one of the towns, and there's an elderly couple that got broken into and beaten pretty badly, and they were non-Indigenous, and the kids that did it were our mob. So, but those elderly people, they didn't want these young kids locked up. They wanted to know why, what was happening with them to be able to be so blunt and it was pretty. Look, it was probably a good thing that come out from those consultations, that here's an elderly couple that have been bashed pretty badly, but they wanted to actually know why, the why behind what's
Yeah.
happening with these kids, rather than just going, okay, here's this 10-year-old, let's lock him up. Here's this 11-year-old, let's just lock him up. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
let's do some work with them to be able to try and rectify that.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. I guess the other thing that's going to happen, I suppose, if there's less attention being put on into this sort of, this kind of demographic, I suppose we're talking about tonight, then there's going to be more of it happening. But the reaction is what I'm concerned about is that the public begins to take things into their own hands because nothing's been done, and that can create a lot of stuff.
Well, again, you're spot on, and we heard the same story, another one that happened in Townsville not long ago, when the someone stole someone's car, and then the fella chased these young ones, and didn't run into the ones that he was chasing, but ran head on into another car coming the other way and killed the people coming the other way. And yeah, and the thing is that so like he's saying, I'm trying to save my stuff. Yeah, okay, you are, but in the meantime, you're killing someone that's innocent. So
That's right.
so is he a murderer, or manslaughter, or whatever it may be?
That's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So like, I'm not saying what the kids, what the act that they did was right, but was the act that the fella did any better?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's
I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking the question, brother. So
I think it's going to get so frustrating for people that this has been happening. And I think on the news, in Queensland news anyway, there was that break-in up near Mango Hill where they killed this fella's wife. Remember that? And
yeah, that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
A couple of years, but only yesterday or the day before, they tried to break into the house next door.
Oh,
Jesus! So that bloke whose wife is gone, he was traumatised by the whole lot. The neighbours were as well. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's going to come to a tipping point, I suppose, in terms of that. If nothing gets done, I mean, I don't know whether the answer is locking up 10-year-olds, or finding a facility that's turns those kids around. Gives them another opportunity to learn and.
But I think there's got to be something there for them, brother. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah,
they can't be just all evil and bad. I think, and most people, and I'll say most people, deserve a second and third chance. They can't be just all evil and bad. There's got to be something behind what's happening in their own lives. So I think that we need to be digging that little bit deeper to find out, some of that why, So
yeah, definitely, yeah. I'm just going to read up as well, Indigenous workers they were called. That was Francis, but Cassandra Gilbert said, "Do the kids actually know why?" Marilyn says, "Sadly, money has been taken away from things that were keeping kids involved in projects and happy and engaged, just letting them run loose without any care or intention." Wayne's on. How you going, Wayne Turner?
Wayne Turner.
Well, yeah.
Hello.
How are you, brother? He says they should teach them to break dance so they can break into business and so they don't break into houses. I don't need all that sort of activities, brother. We know that dance and art and being creative is always a good option as well. But so is sport and a whole range of other things. But those things aren't being funded. They're not. They're not actually. That's not the focus of the government at the moment. It is, but they just don't know what to do. They got no answers. They got.
Well, I think you're right the first time, brother. I don't think it is the focus of the government. So
no. Well, that's right. It's they're trying to maintain. I don't know how they're going to stay in, but it's something that I suppose what the rank and file, the critical mass of Australian people should be aware of. So we need to be asking the questions. Well, what are you going to do about this? How can we locking up 10-year-old kids? What's your policy on that? It needs to look a bit different. So you're informed about who you're going to vote for, really, especially if it's now that it's compulsory.
And there should be some sort of penalty as well, that when if they are saying we're going to do this, this, and that, and they don't do it when they get in, there should be some penalty, I reckon. So
definitely, and that's why
I don't know what that is.
That's why independents have come into the picture a lot more since the last couple of years. But once again, is an independent going to be able to tackle this in a better way than it's been tackled at the moment? Locking people up. We always say there's always what Cassandra was saying. There's always a why. Why are they out there doing this stuff?
Well,
why kids doing it?
That's what I was saying before. That's what that older couple are asking. What's the why? What why? And it's only a little word, but it's got a big meaning, eh? So
yeah. I think this stuff here, all trying. And there was what's the name the other day, where young bloke stole a car, and he was just doing it to post it up online. He was travelling a couple of 100 kilometres an hour in through the tunnels around Brisbane. You know what I mean? So it's this stuff here. It's all about popularity, and
yeah, definitely
what their peers are doing, that type of stuff. Yeah, it's and it's dangerous.
But some good stuff comes out of social media, but there's some absolute shit that comes with it as well. So if you look at it like that, the stuff that you're talking about, posting things online and all that sort of stuff, social media plays a big part in jealousy as well, and all these other things as well. That's probably another issue for another night, that the jealousy one. But
jealousy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, look, I mean, we see it all the time in communities. Same sort of thing, brother. And social media has a lot to answer for with that.
Yeah.
So,
look, I look forward to the day that a community says we don't, no phones in here, no social media. We'll just live our life the way we do it. You know what I mean? And if you want to do that stuff, you have to go in a particular place to do that. And it's all monitored and managed, in that particular centre. It would be really good if that was a way of going. But then I suppose that, we come back to, individual rights of human rights stuff, should be allowed to have a phone or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just about, as a community, we're not talking about, Toowoomba or Brisbane or Cairns or whatever. We're talking about, I'm talking about a remote community. I know that sometimes that's their only form of communication outside of the community, but to have a kid looking at stuff that's happening in Brisbane from other kids is probably not the way to go. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think too, and I mean, to say this, I mean, I think the kids are given the phones and the iPads at a way too young of age now. And if the kids are bored, what do us as parents do? Here you go, have my phone, have the iPad. Just be quiet, So,
playing games, and
definitely.
Playing games. But I think that you can have the iPad in school, that usually has all your textbooks on it nowadays, and they can go from there. But I think that those things stay in the school, I suppose. And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, mate. It's not only. I don't think it's just a thing that happens in Australia. It's happening all over the world, and it can be a dangerous place out there as well for young people. I don't know what. Be interesting to find out, and whether they are doing stuff around this in the next census, around some of the things that may have been caused by social media. Some of the things that may be caused by social media.
They might find out too much that they don't like, brother. So it mightn't be on the agenda.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, yeah, because even like the last census, I think it happened before COVID, and so I'm looking at anxiously at what's happened since whilst COVID was on, in terms of cause of death. Really, you know what I mean? How many people?
Well,
I want to see what that is, what that looks like, because
we're gonna find that there's a big increase in suicide as well, brother. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
that the government didn't want to let out during that time.
Mm,
For they had got their own reasons for that, but
mm,
talking to people on the front line, there's just you know it was just seriously out of
oh,
control. Some,
yeah,
in some
definitely. Yeah.
spaces, and especially when you look at places like Melbourne, where most lockdown
Oh,
city in the world, brother.
yeah.
And we had this conversation the other day. Why wasn't there a federal um, attack on it rather than left it to state by state?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you had states fighting each other. You had Queensland saying we don't want Victorians in here. We don't,
Mm,
and like things like that, and WA locking up and not letting anyone in and all that sort of stuff. I mean, if there was a federal approach to the whole thing,
mm,
maybe it would have been better for
mm.
some of those people that decided to take their own lives as well, brother.
Absolutely, and our leadership wasn't real good back around that time, if you remember. Um,
Oh,
let's
it's
see.
pretty shit house. I mean,
Pretty serious. Yeah,
if
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Deborah Doty said, "Agreed, Charlie." Jan Hogan said, "Chasing funds burnt me out. I just concentrated on 3 ex-pupils remained. A mentor signposter for them. Maybe we could all try to look out for one person each so they can go on to mentor signposts for others. We can still make a difference even if they're not funding the right things anymore." You know what I mean? So yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Really, we take a responsibility, like that fellow we looked at, JB from Mareebra, or maybe it was from Alice Springs, who was saying that elders need to
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
involved in this stuff. Because it doesn't cost any money to do that sort of stuff. I remember I was but curlews going off in the
I can
background.
hear him, brother. I can hear
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I remember when I was here in Mackay years ago, I had a group. I formed a group called MyJag, which is the Mackay Elders Group, and they got out in the street on a Friday, Saturday night around 12 o'clock, and they walked around town, in the city centre. They walked in pairs, and it was all coordinated, and the young fellas seen them, and young people seen them in the street, and they all take off home, because they all know them. Hey, look out,
Yeah,
up
100%,
there,
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty, of our night patrols and that we have
Yeah.
in, like the communities. And I know what a great job that the mobs in and around Alice Springs, out in their communities do with their night patrol. Same sort of thing, brother. Like
Yeah.
you got them there, and sometimes they're giving kids lift homes as
Oh,
well, or as you said, kids will run off and go shit. Oh, that's uncle there, so I'm going to take
no,
off now, and
come on,
before
yeah,
he gets me, or before he
yeah,
gives me a hiding or whatever. Not that
yeah.
they would give them a hiding at all.
No, that's right. Yeah. Wayne said, teach them stuff that will help them get work on cattle and sheep industry. And Cassandra Gilbert said, I've got to go. So grateful for seeing your smiling faces today live. Love you both. Yep. Well done,
Love to
Cassandra.
you too,
Thanks for your
Cassandra. Thank you. You'll have to come on.
Yeah,
You're
she
not getting
does.
away from me.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, mate. Look, I don't know whether we provided any answers or even some questions. We probably provided a lot more questions than anything, but
Yep.
this issue that I guess started our conversation around young people. Our young people was basically because of what's happened in the territory. They've had a change of government. They've all of a sudden changed the age to drop the age down to 10 for young people who are being incarcerated, I guess. So yeah, that's where we've come from. Thank you, Christine Butler, for raising that with us and letting us know what's going on. This is affecting everyone in the country, not just, you know, I know it affects people up in the territory. It's hard to even contemplate. I don't know how anyone could do that for a young 10-year-old. You know what I mean? So like, I've got a granddaughter. She's 4. What's going to happen when she gets to 6? Another 6 years. You know what I mean? So,
well, who's to say that the legal age won't be at 6 then, brother? You know.
well,
So,
I don't know. You know what I mean? So, it's yeah, definitely not a very great state of affairs in the territory, but it, you know, at the moment that's happening all around the country, I suppose. And like you know, our mate Jeff Sentence said that there's another correction centre getting built up in the sunny coast. But anyway, guys, yep, been great getting back on. I'm glad we were connected with JB and CJ. Good to see all your comments and that. Stay tuned. If you have any thoughts, any other comments, any other statements, any other information you have, certainly load it into tonight's comments.
yeah,
it'd be great to hear from you.
CJ will be able to answer them all and get back
no
to you.
hard ones. If they're hard ones, just say, you know, to JB, and I'll pass it to JB.
And the other thing is too, we are doing a little check-in on a Friday morning as well.
Yep.
So love to see you again. 10 a.m. I think we're doing it, CJ.
Yep. 10 a.m.
Friday morning.
Yep.
Yeah. Just for a 15-minute little yarn, see how everyone's week was and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, talk about what's coming up the following Monday. So yeah, so love to everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been really good. I'm a little bit happy. I've been really disappointed with Facebook and this whole friggin' Meta thing, but I think we've got it sorted now. So let's keep our fingers and toes crossed and you have a good week, CJ. Everyone else have a great week as well. And see you Friday morning. Bye for now.
Yeah.